Welcome to Javid Radio, brought to you live by the Javid Media Group. Tonight's hosts, Avi Sipperstein, John Eisler, Blake, and world-renowned comedian Mike Fine.
Good evening and welcome to Javid Radio. It's Monday evening, it's cold outside, it's wet outside, so the best thing to do is tune in to us. We are streaming live at www.surrealradio.com. That's SYREAL radio.com. And we are available over the phone as well if you want to listen via phone. The number is 712-432-6553. So share that with all your friends who don't have access to internet for whatever reason. 712-432-6553. You can hear the show live. My name is Avi Sipperstein. I'm your host. I'm joined in the studio tonight with Blake, who just trekked from, it looks like, I don't know where. He's literally dripping from head to toe. Is it that bad outside?
It's pretty bad. You know, as I was walking, I just wore a coat. I'm like, okay, you know what? It doesn't look so bad. The second I hit, like, those streets without the trees and everything, I was like, oh, big mistake. Should have brought an umbrella.
Right, and you're the type of person, like, your luck is that if you walk under the trees, you'll get hit by lightning. So it's either it's one or the other. So, all right, we'll see you soon. So our guest just left us. Thank you so much for coming before the show. Too bad he had the wrong timing, so he's going to be leaving. Maybe he'll be back soon. And tonight it's going to be just us. We actually have a great program lined up for next week as well, and we'll talk more about that shortly. Mike Fine, our comedian, is also not here this evening. His fiance's birthday in the city, so we want to give a special shout-out and a happy birthday to Mike Fine's fiance, Chelsea. Yes, I was the one who set them up, so I relish in the credit for that. Yeah, I'm waiting for my gift. I know, hasn't come yet. In any case, we are here in the studio. We have I believe Blake owes us a tremendous amount of information because the last week we were off due to the holiday. And the week prior to that, we had some really wonderful guests on. So I know Blake has prepared a political update for us this week, and I'm very excited to hear about it. Before we get into that,
Wow, thanks for putting all the pressure of this week's show on me.
But before we get into that, again, we are streaming live at www.surrealradio.com, SYREALradio.com. 712-432-6553 is the listen-in line. Any questions or comments during the show, please text us. We like text better than phone calls because we really don't want to talk to you. I'm just kidding. We would love to talk to you. We'd love to hear from all our listeners. But again, our call-in line or our text-in line, 347-684-1155. Again, that number, 347-684-1155. We welcome all your comments, your thoughts, and your suggestions, especially because I'm sure many people don't want to hear them. We do. Thanks for tuning in tonight. And Blake, what's going on with before we get to anything else, you've been promising us this soft launch for your jerky. I know that you're now producing out of a facility. I know that you have a lot of exciting things happening and you have a new website coming, but I just want to know, when is the party and where's the free jerky?
So I have been trying to do a soft launch. I've actually, this week, I made 3 new flavors. One of them was a fail, but the other 2 actually came out pretty good.
Don't tell us about the fail. I don't want to know about it.
It actually wasn't a fail. I was just, I wanted to make this barbecue sauce flavor one, and I used the wrong barbecue sauce. I decided to use something that was a good barbecue sauce, but it's only for specific types of meat. And it just didn't work. But it's going to work out now because I realized what I did, and now we're going to make sure it's good. But in regards to the soft launch, I've been trying to make enough jerky to do that soft launch, but every single time it's just too many orders. It's just I keep having to make more and more. Thank God we just got a new machine and everything, so the soft launch is in the
And you know what I thought was really cool? I went onto your Facebook page, and I realized that in addition to your website, in addition to being able to order online, you're out. Okay, that's another one dropping out tonight. I guess it's a rough night out there. So I noticed that in addition to your website, it's possible to actually make orders for beef jerky on Facebook. I found that to be really cool. I had no idea that Facebook does everything from posting and social media marketing and all that, but you can actually now go and buy beef jerky right on Facebook. So if you're listening right now and you want to buy some beef jerky, we know you're on Facebook anyway, stalking somebody's page or something. So take a look at Blake's Jerky page and make an order online, and it's really cool. It comes with a tracking number and all that good stuff. So check it out. In other news, Blake, I got a little scare this week, or early, not a scare, I shouldn't say a scare, but I got someone sent me a link to Fox News, and the link said that Trump was pulling out of the race.
No, he wasn't.
And I couldn't believe it. I opened the link. I was like, what? And again, we're not talking about whether you're pro or against Trump, but I certainly did not expect that he would be pulling out of the race at all. Until, whether he wins or until he gets outvoted. He just doesn't seem like that kind of person. So I got kind of like, it was interesting to see that. And I was like eager to read the article. And then, of course, I opened it up and it said, your friend just scammed you. You're number 400 and you're the 458th person.
That is actually really, really funny.
To fall for this link. So what I did was I forwarded it. We all have those friends, and Blake, I'm sure like we all have those friends who get emails, they get the text, but like their ADD just kicks in too high, so they don't finish the text, they don't read the entire email, or they don't click on the link, they just read the headline. We all know people like that, right?
100%.
Like I remember a number of years ago, I actually did this with some of my support staff in the office, because I had a situation where I would write lengthy emails. I don't know why. I just got into a habit of writing detailed, lengthy emails regarding, patients that we were working on and, needing updates or whatnot. And I would send emails to the office and, to some of the, support staff that I had in the office. And their job was to take care of whatever issue it was that I was informing them about and to send me a reply that it was taken care of or what the issue is and the reason why maybe it was not able to be taken care of. And there were always like one or two that I realized they would like write back to me and say, okay, taken care of, all good, no problem, all good. And then I would, mark it off in my head, mark it off on my list. Okay, this is taken care of. And then lo and behold, 2 or 3 days later, I get a call from the client or from the patient's family on wit's end because, we called you about this urgent emergency situation 2-3 days ago. You said you were going to take care of it right away, and you didn't. And then I would call the office, and I would get on the phone with whoever it was that was supposed to take care of it, and I would say, what happened? And they would say, oh, yeah, I took care of it. And then I'd ask them, what did you do exactly to take care of it? And then I would find out that they only read like the first 2 sentences of the email that I sent them. So they would read the issue, but they wouldn't read like, further what I said. I would always say like, do this, then call this person, mark it down this, whatever it was. I always, I didn't just leave it to the wind. I always told them, what I thought would be the appropriate action. And I realized that people were not reading my emails. So what I did was I tried this little trick, and it was pretty funny. The next email that I wrote in a situation like this, about 3 or 4 sentences in, I would write, if you got this far in the email, please reply back to me with the word orange. Okay?
That is really, really
It gets better. 3-4 sentences later, I would write back, if you got this far in the email, please write back with the word green. This is in the same email. And then at the bottom, after the end of the email, at the end of my message, I would write, if you got this far, please reply back with the word yellow. And you would not believe how many people, like if let's say I was copying 4 or 5 of the support staff, I would say about 2 or 3 out of the 5 would write back, haha, Avi, you are hilarious. Orange.
I'm not even sure like how to respond to that.
And
That's unbelievable.
I simply wrote back, "Ha, you didn't make it to yellow, did you?"
And then
It was
it's
great.
like, oh, okay.
I didn't need to discipline anybody because after that, my emails got taken care of, and it was great because I printed them out and I hung them in the office. The replies. So it was just a cute little gimmick, and going back to where I'm going with this. So we all know that there are plenty of people who like, oh, did you get my email? Yeah, I got your email. I took a look at it. I'll reply later or whatever. And they don't, there are many people. I know many people who don't read, the email in its entirety. People accuse me of not getting back to them in time in their emails sometimes. But generally, once I open the email, I'll read it through and I'll address the entire email. In any case, I figured I would have a little fun with it. And I sent the link, that Fox News link, I sent it to 3 friends of mine who I knew would not even bother to open the link. They're the type of people who would see the header. Oh, my God, Trump pulls out. They need to be the first one to inform their friends. And this one friend of mine actually forwarded that link to a number of people because he was excited, like, oh, my gosh, look, Trump pulled out. And he forwarded the link. One of the people, apparently, that he forwarded the link to is, I guess, one of the VPs of the Trump Corporation, a friend of his who works for Trump. And the guy called him up and said, what is this crap that you're sending me, and why did you not bother to open the article? You look like a fool. How many people did you send this to? And the guy called me up. Why did you do this to me? I said, I knew you wouldn't open. I knew you wouldn't open the link. I knew you wouldn't open it because you never open anything. So you get what you deserve. Now you know if I send you something, you open it.
All right, now he's going to make sure to do that.
Yeah.
That's freaking unbelievable. Anyway, I got to start doing that on my emails. But I don't write such long emails. Mine are usually one-sentence emails.
Well, it's only an issue. I mean, the people that you work with, do they reply to you, and do they take care of what they need to do? Because if you find that, like, this kind of trick only, you have to, I shouldn't say it's a trick, but it was a way of me, like,
proving your point.
Proving a point without making anybody feel bad. It was funny. It was, like everybody felt like they got the point. Oh, wow, I'm so stupid. I wrote orange. I was eager to, but it allowed me to not have to come into the office and, get like kind of uptight and come off like I was not appreciating the work that they did. I made my point in a funny way. Everybody got a good laugh out of it. Nobody felt hurt or insulted. And the people that wrote back the wrong word because they didn't read the entire email, even they appreciated the laughter. So it's the kind of thing that can only work where you have a decent relationship with the people that you work with. And if there's a particular issue, like I knew that the issue was they're not reading the email in its entirety. I knew that if they read the email in its entirety, they would address the issue the way they should.
You shouldn't write such long emails. I mean, I've gotten emails from you, and I'm like, holy moly. I got to be like, all right, I got to take lunch break here. Let me go through this one. Yeah. My emails, I put the issue in the subject line and how they want it in the things. It's like maybe 4 sentences, the whole thing.
Wow.
That's with the subject line. We get the whole thing covered there.
In any case, once again, I was informed that John is joining us from his remote location this week. John, are you there on the air with us?
Hello.
John, how you doing? You with us?
Avi, what's going on?
Hey, man, long time. How you doing?
We were off last week for Hanukkah, right?
Yeah, we were off last week, and the week prior to that, you had some police duty, I believe.
Yes, I did. I
Okay,
did.
so we haven't spoken to you in a couple of weeks.
Yes, you
How's
haven't.
it going? How's life?
Well, first of all, who else is joining you? Anyone else?
Yeah, we got Blake here in the studio. Mike was canceled last minute because his fiance's birthday tonight. So they're celebrating her birthday in the city.
Oh, I think you said because it's Beyonce's birthday tonight.
Yeah, that too. No,
I think what the hell does Beyonce have to do with our show now?
Yeah, no. I mean,
Aside from her being a listener, of course.
Yeah, and a big fan. So he's celebrating tonight with his fiance, and we actually had 2 guests lined up for this week. One of them we actually postponed to next week. That's actually going to be a fantastic show, and we mentioned it earlier, but I'll get into it now very quickly. We're going to be meeting with 2 of the heads, the coordinators of the Shomrim organization in the 5 towns. That's your neighborhood, John. So you might want to participate next week as well.
I wonder if I know them because I know a lot of those guys.
You might know them. So we'll talk about. We're still getting the information of who's coming and what exactly the topic of interest is going to be that we're going to be talking about.
Do you know the names of the guys you're getting?
I have them written down somewhere, not in front of me, so I'll have to share that with you offline. In any case, they're going to be joining us next week, so that's next week's show. Originally, we had them scheduled.
Wait, what's the occasion for that?
The occasion is that we are a radio show and we bring in guests who can talk about different interesting topics that people might want to listen to and hear about. So it's a special occasion that happens about once a week. I know it's something that you're not, that you're not.
No, I was just saying, were we going to be doing a show on like security or something?
No,
or?
it's an organization that I believe does a lot of good. At the same time, I believe there's a lot of controversy surrounding the work that they do, and I think it would be very interesting to hear from them exactly what they do and to get a perspective from the inside, how they're helping the community, what are some of the issues that they face as far as, in the way they handle matters,
Okay, so let me just clarify one thing, because there's the Shomrim organization, which is the Jewish police officers, of which I'm actually a member of Shomrim. And then there is the Shomrim that does security in the different neighborhoods. Are they one and the same, or are they different organizations?
I believe this is the organization that does the night watch or patrols the neighborhood for safety.
But they're not police officers. They're just basically volunteers.
Right. They're like a volunteer. Yeah, volunteer. Not even auxiliary. They would. Right. I guess they would be, to the public eye, they would be looked at as auxiliary, but they're not officially auxiliary, although they are.
Okay. Right. No. So the regular Shomrim organization is like the fraternal organization that's of policemen that are Jewish that are members of that organization. So this is, I'm just drawing the distinction between the other Shomrim, which is exactly, they provide security similar to the auxiliary police, but it's more of a volunteer type of organization that's not affiliated really with the police department.
Right.
So I know that in my neighborhood, in the Five Towns area, there's been a lot of controversy about that, and one of the places, and I personally, I think it's ridiculous, because the more security that you can get, the better, and who the hell cares where it comes from, as long as it's an organized group that's sanctioned in some way. But I know that the auxiliary police department, the auxiliary police were not really in favor of having the Shomrim organization, only because their feeling was, well, if they're going to be doing this, why not just have them join the auxiliary police and work within our structure?
Right.
And although I think that's a great idea, I personally think that there's room for many organizations. It doesn't really matter to me, but there is sort of a feeling that it encroaches on what it is that we do.
Right. Well, okay. I think you know what it sounds like you definitely want to be a part of the show next week, because you will definitely have what to add. So
when do I ever not want to be a part of the show?
Of course, I'm just letting you know, John. I'm just letting you know. I'm giving you a little heads up. In any case, they got pushed next week. We had a different guest lined up for tonight. We had a gentleman by the name of Mark, who was he's a web developer, consultant, marketing, all these fancy titles. And he was going to join us tonight and tell us a little bit about what web marketing is today and what people do, and I guess talk about his company and give some strategy and tips to people that are in the field or have a small business or are doing any kind of work involving web and social media and etc. But apparently his assistant gave him the wrong time, so he came early and had to leave when we started. So he may try to come back. I think he said he had a meeting locally, so he's out for now. But he was going to be here tonight. It was definitely an interesting topic that we wanted to talk about. But no harm done, because we're good on our own 2 feet. We're good. Or
in this case, 6 feet, being that there's three of us.
Right. You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. Blake is busy. I don't know what he's doing over there.
I got my new laptop here that I bought on Black Friday.
At B&H.
Yeah. Oh, Weird.
Is that where you got it? Did you really get it, B&H?
I did get it at B&H.
That's where he works. He gets it cheaper.
I
there.
know he works there, but do you get employee pricing? I assume.
Of course he does.
And what type of discount is that?
No. We're not talking about it. John, you had to pay attention. We talked about this on a previous show. I guess you're not listening.
I know, but he never answered the question.
Well, all I know is that we have a lot of really good camera and equipment and wonderful technology, I guess, for filming.
Right.
Thanks to Mr. Blake over here. So that's why we're friends with him, and for free beef jerky. Not free.
Hey, I had to pay full
that's
price.
it. No more show for me. That's
I'm
it.
joking.
Not only did I have to pay full price, he actually said to me, Avi will kill me if I sell it cheaper.
He's right.
He was petrified to even give me like $1 discount on it.
Let me tell you, the guy who's developing the new website for Blake was in the office the other day, and there was some beef jerky there, and he's like, hey, I'm going to take a bag. I was like, okay, which size? He's like, 2 ounce. I said, great. I'm gonna deduct $8.99 from your cost.
Well, listen. I mean, the truth of the matter is I get that because there's a cost to make it and produce it, and it's time and effort. On the other hand, there are selective situations where you can give it at cost. You don't have to be a chaza about every penny.
Oh, and you know what?
Yeah, that's 100%. But it's good because at the end of the day, I'm more into just giving because that's just what I do. I don't care as much. And Avi is the opposite, and he makes
listen. Whatever you sell it for $8.99. You sell it for $8.99. Let's say it costs you $4.99, and like your really good friend, say like me, wants to buy 2 bags of it. You could charge me cost. You don't have to make profit.
We'll charge you cost and shipping. Because you don't because you don't come out to the studio anymore. We have to set you up in your fancy home location so you can do it from there. So we're just gonna
wait. Are you not? You're using my equipment, aren't you? I don't charge you for my equipment.
Yeah, no, this isn't your equipment anymore.
What do you mean? That's not my board?
Not anymore.
But it's considered abandoned property now.
Listen to the full sentence.
Seriously.
Not anymore.
I didn't realize I don't come to the studio for like 2 months, and now my property becomes abandoned property.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. In any case, moving right along. I actually, Blake doesn't even know this yet, but there's a organization called Amudim, AMUDIM, and I'm not going to get into too much detail about them. They're an organization that was started by Tzvi Gluck, who's a very respected police liaison within the community. He's the guy I guess you call if you get arrested, if you get locked up, if you get deported or something.
What's his name?
Yeah, Tzvi Gluck. In any case,
wait, what's his name?
Right. So in any case, he has an organization. He started an organization called Amudim, and apparently they do a variety of services dealing with all sorts of issues and matters, including sexual abuse and trauma, and helping drug addicts and helping people get their life in order and all that good stuff.
Didn't you just say you're not going to get so much into it?
That's it. That's all I got to say on it. So they're having a fundraiser event.
Wait, he helps people that were involved with sexual abuse, like the abuser or the abusee?
Everything. He's into helping all different types of situations. Now,
I don't think Blake was listening to your question.
I did.
John.
Not at all.
No,
It's totally
I did.
dead.
He'll help the
So
abuser.
let's say
He'll help
Avi-
the abuser?
Yeah, the guy needs help.
Let's say Avi
Yeah.
something, but
Do you know what help he provides for the abuser?
yeah, it doesn't make a difference.
He'll
will help
pay for
them.
the lawyers to sue him and put him away.
It doesn't make a difference. That is helping.
Wait, so
He'll make
that's
sure,
my question.
He'll make sure the abuser has kosher food. in
Wait.
jail.
I don't think
Blake.
so.
Blake,
I don't think
let's
so.
say-
I sure hope so.
I think you're wrong.
One Jew's a Jew. It doesn't make a difference.
All right, Blake, go back over
That's
there.
it.
Get into the
That's
corner. We're shutting off your mic again. John, so basically he has this organization. They do a lot of wonderful things. In any case, in fact, you know that we went around on Thanksgiving and delivered turkeys to the local precincts, right, John? You knew that.
I have no idea that was done.
You just don't pay attention. In any case, so our
Well,
organization...
how would I know?
Right, okay,
You never told me.
all right. Our organization, Chaverim, joined up with volunteers from Hatzalah, together with the liaison from his office, from Tzvi Gluck's office, and we deliver turkeys all over the boroughs to the local precincts on Thanksgiving. The only precinct we didn't go to was yours, the one that you work out of, because we just felt like you don't deserve it.
Were they
So-
cooked turkeys or raw turkeys?
fully cooked turkeys.
Oh, so you were delivering like Thanksgiving dinner to whatever cops were at the precinct working that night?
Exactly.
Oh, okay, that's very nice.
And we're looking for some volunteers actually for New Year's Eve to go around and distribute. We're not sure yet what special item, but we're going to have some people go around on New Year's and deliver as well. So we'll tell you about that soon. In any case, so he has this organization called Amudim. They're having a fundraiser actually also in Long Island in your neck of the woods. I believe it's in 2 weeks, I think, right before New Year's. They're having some kind of a backyard barbecue fundraiser something. And Blake doesn't know this yet, but as of this afternoon, they booked Blake to have a beef jerky bar at their event. So, John,
Very
if
nice.
you want free jerky, all you got to do is attend this event. The admission goes for charity, so you don't have to worry about that. You pay your admission to go for charity, and then you get to enjoy the event and get free jerky all night.
Well, I don't actually eat the jerky. It's for my kids.
Okay, so give your kids money for admission and let them come eat free jerky all night.
When is this event and where is
I have
this
so
event?
many questions about this
Yeah.
event also.
Yeah, Blake doesn't know yet. I just got an email on it today. See, that's what you get for doing
Wow.
it. That's the marketing department. Blake doesn't know from that.
Yeah. I don't
Where and when? Where and when?
I don't know. I literally, I'll be honest, I did not read the entire email.
Oh. I hope you have it marked as unread or something.
It is. It's marked as unread. All I got was, in the top it said, "Hey, Avi, we saw blah, blah, blah about the beef jerky bar, blah, blah, blah. We would like to have this at our event. Please confirm with me, etc., blah, blah, blah." So I didn't read the entire email to get the details and the date, but I
definitely have a lot to
from
talk about after the show.
skimming, I think it's in like 2 weeks. So I'll give.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So I wanted to go back to something you were talking about before about the delivering of the turkeys to the precinct. So
Yes.
you know that when the cops, I'm sure, are working on Thanksgiving, they're probably earning time and a half.
Right.
In Nassau County, I think they're probably earning $150,000 a year in salary.
Right.
May it not be a better idea to deliver those turkeys elsewhere to like poor people, let's say?
I think you failed to see the point of delivering the
Yeah, we're not
turkeys.
trying to give it because we feel bad that they have no money.
Well, what do you think? The cops are going to starve if you don't bring them a turkey?
No.
No,
Wait,
see, that-
hold
you
on,
missed
hold
the
on.
point.
John. Oh, right, I forgot. John doesn't really give people gifts. But, John, theoretically, if you were the type of person who would give someone a gift, right,
Yeah.
I'm sure that most of the people that you would give a gift to aren't poor, that they need your gift, right? You're
No,
giving
but
it-
you're giving a gift when you're invited to, let's say, a simcha or an event or something. You're
Why?
doing something like a
Why?
charitable act for some and bringing it to
Why?
people that don't really need the charity.
Right, so it's not a charitable act. That's where you're missing. Who said it was charity?
Well, so what is it? Just appreciation, you mean?
It's appreciation. You keep our streets safe. You keep us, you allow us to operate, to do our volunteer
It's like when you
work.
go to a restaurant and you tip someone. It's the same idea. You
Well, no, the
appreciate
people
work.
working in the restaurants, most of those servers
Yeah,
need
but
the
you're,
money.
But,
No,
but
okay,
you're
fine,
saying,
but it's not-
you're saying
that's
to the
not the
cops
part
of the
I'm
precinct,
looking
we're
at.
only appreciating those that are working on Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, well, the point is that it's a general appreciation, and
They get the leftovers. All the cops get the leftovers.
No, the point is, first of all, just so you know, John, last year I went to one of the not last year, 2 years ago, I went to one of the local precincts. I brought them turkey on Thanksgiving, and I actually went by the precinct about 2 days later because a friend of mine is a cop there. I went by just to say hello and catch up for a little bit, and the food from Thanksgiving was still out and still being picked at. So, whether
Wow.
Was it refrigerated in between those 2 days? or was
John, I don't know. I don't care. The point is,
The point is it was.
were they
get-
kosher turkeys or unkosher?
kosher turkeys. The point is that gets eaten. The cops appreciate it, and whether a particular police officer is not there on that day because they're off on Thanksgiving, or whether they, whatever it is, they know about it. So automatically that creates better relationships. So when you're a nonprofit organization operating within a certain area, and you interact, or at certain points you come in contact or rely on or require the assistance of the local police department or the local police force, I think it's a very smart idea to just keep, to maintain that good relationship by doing small things, small gestures.
Well, I hope for your sake that next time you get pulled over and they see your Hatzalah decal in the window, that they remember that turkey they were eating on Thanksgiving.
and I'm sure they will.
Yeah, don't be so sure.
No. He's gonna just show the Blake's Jerky business card, and then he's just gonna get off.
You
because
should
we gave
know.
out Blake's Jerky also.
You should know we gave out, John. We in addition to the turkeys, we also gave out packs, like little packages of Blake's Jerky to the cops, and they loved it. There was one cop actually who came in. He came over to me as we were leaving, and he's like, "Wow, this is good stuff." He says, "I go through 4 or 5 bags a day of jerky in my car when I'm on patrol or whatever." And he said that Blake's Jerky was better than the stuff that he normally eats. So that was pretty cool, actually.
All right, great.
Yeah. In any case, so John, if you're available on New Year's to go and deliver, food to some of the local precincts, not as a charity.
Yeah, I have nothing better to do with my night on New Year's.
Oh, yeah? Why don't you tell me? What are your big plans, John, for New Year's?
I don't believe it's anything that I can actually discuss on this family show, radio show. I think it's something that has to be discussed off air.
Which means you have no plans. All right, that's cool. I understand.
Actually, I do have plans, and the plans involve a very close friend of mine that comes to stay by me about 2 times a year. He lives in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he's coming in with his son, who I've never met before, and we're going to have a really nice time.
Wow, that sounds really exciting, John. I hope you do.
Yeah,
funny.
it's my closest childhood friend from
Oh,
when we were in
wow.
first grade together. Yes.
Wow.
So
wow.
every time he comes in, we have a great time, and this is going to be nice that I finally get to meet his son,
Yeah,
who
definitely.
I've never met.
That's so exciting. How's your son doing? Talking about sons.
So far, so good, I believe.
Okay, you're going to visit him soon, right?
We're going on January 18th. We're going for 10
No
days.
way,
Yeah.
my parents are also going.
Oh,
then.
Blake wakes up. Oh, hi, Blake.
What do you mean wakes up? I've been around the whole time.
Maybe I'm even on the same flight as Blake's parents. Are they going El Al?
Probably, but I have no idea. I don't
Oh,
ask that
okay.
many
All
questions.
right, you look out for them then. All right, good. This is.
I
Really...
wouldn't know them if I fell over them.
No, I look exactly like my father, so you'll notice.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna go commercial. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
For the best in quality home health care, combined with top-notch customer service, contact Elite Care today for all your home health care and medical supply needs. We accept most insurances, and our private pay is super competitive. Call Jack at Elite Care at 323-973-0385. Make the switch to Elite today.
And welcome back. You are listening to Javid Radio, produced and hosted by SurrealRadio.com. That's SYREAL Radio.com. The call-in and text-in number line tonight is 347-684-1155. Again, that number 347-684-1155 for all your questions and comments. If you'd like to send us an email with a comment, a suggestion, a tip, a trick, or a suggested guest for our show.
I have a question.
Hold on, John. You can send an email to info@thejavidgroup.com or fabtasticmedia@gmail.com. We'll talk more about that soon. Fabtastic Media is a new entity now that's part of our operation, and we're not going to get into too much detail now because that's still in the works. It's still in the talks, but things are happening. What's your question, John?
So my question is, there was a rumor going around. Howard Stern's contract is up at Sirius, and supposedly within the next few days, he's going to announce what his intentions are. And my question to you is, what is the possibility that he'll be joining us?
Very good question.
I've been
right there.
hearing things. That's why I'm asking. I know that you would be in a better position to know than me. But is it true that he might possibly be considering joining us?
From the last time I checked, I think it was kind of somewhere on his list. But, a guy like Howard Stern, he has a lot of radio shows. So we're going to go back to meet him. And we're going to...
I mean, the truth is we really did want him, but he wasn't really clean enough for our show. So we actually told him that he would have to tone it down a little bit.
and he said no.
No, he said he was, playing with the idea of it.
Right.
But he said it would ruin his reputation to be clean. So he's probably not going to end up taking the offer.
I think it would just ruin his whole show. He's just a dirty guy. That's all he is.
But,
Gotcha.
okay.
I just want to know if there was any truth to it because I was hearing things.
But John, talking about Howard Stern, this is actually really, really funny. I go through my my news feed on Facebook every so often, just to see like what's going on in the world, most of which is not relevant or necessary to know about. And one of the headlines that caught my eye this morning was the following headline. It said, a Hasidic person was charged in the assault of a cross-dressing Howard Stern guest. Apparently there's this gentleman who is a cross-dresser, and apparently he's had guest appearances on the Howard Stern show over time. Maybe people know him. Apparently it says he's known to Stern fans as Elegant Elliot.
Oh, yeah, I know the name.
Yeah, you know the name. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting, because I'm reading this article, I'm like, wow, another piece of useless garbage that is completely irrelevant. Like, who cares, Like, I mean, whatever. He's a cross-dresser on Howard Stern, and he got chased by a Hasidic guy, and the guy got arrested, and okay, great. Then I look at the pictures, and first of all, the pictures are really funny. If you're in front of a computer, if you're on your phone right now, you can literally go to, I guess you can Google search that, New York Post, Hasidic person charged with the assault of a cross-dressing Howard Stern guest. And then I look at the picture, and I see a face that looks quite familiar.
What, the cross-dresser or the cross-dresser?
Yes, the cross-dresser, apparently. I've seen him in shul before.
Get out of here. Oh,
Yes.
But you've seen him as a woman in shul?
No. In fact,
Let me see the picture.
it's funny because I have a friend of mine, a good buddy of mine, David. Me and him, every once in a while, will meet up. When the times allow, we'll meet up in shul like on a random Wednesday morning or whatnot. And there was one day. What was it? What was it, like 2 weeks ago? It was about 2 weeks ago, and we met up in shul in the morning. And I think it was a Wednesday morning. And a gentleman comes in, a very sweaty gentleman with long hair, acting completely berserk, yelling things and like just acting nutty, and to the point where David actually pulled his phone out and videoed the guy acting erratically in shul. It was funny. And
Right.
this is the person. I looked at it. I right away copied the link. I sent it to David. I was like, David, I said, read this article. And he texted me back. He's like, is this the guy that I videoed? So it is so worth looking at the picture now, because you got to see what this guy looks like. I mean, he looks ridiculous. And can you just imagine? Try picturing him walking into, a shul in the morning and just yelling out, crazy obscenities.
Well, is he like a member of the shul?
I have no idea. He just randomly showed up, I guess. I think I've seen him around the neighborhood, and I always, rumor has it that he is the brother of one of the local homeless people in the neighborhood. So, like, I never really paid much attention. I just kind of, I kind of, like, noticed that there was an odd person. You see him at the supermarket, or you'll see him walking down the street or
Right.
whatever. And then I saw him, like, I never paid much attention. Then when he walked into shul that day, I was like, wow, this guy really is, if not hilariously insane, then he's definitely, hilariously funny. And then I see this article today with him in the picture, and I'm like, oh, gosh.
But in shul, he was just dressed as a regular guy.
I mean, he was dressed kind of like, he didn't look put together, It didn't like he didn't blend in with the
But he
crowd.
wasn't dressed as a woman, is what I'm saying.
Oh no, he definitely was not dressed as a woman, which is what makes it even funnier.
The dressing as a woman is just like a shtick with him, or
I have
like,
no idea. You said you're familiar with Elegant Elliot. I am not.
Well, I know the name from the Howard Stern show from years ago. That's not like even a new thing.
Wow. Well, apparently
He
he
does
was
look like an old guy.
apparently he was chased and he was chased by a Hasidic guy this week for dressing.
Probably rightfully
Yeah, but he
so.
doesn't even look good dressing. Did you see those pictures of him dressed? It was not like
I don't think he's
he didn't
trying to
even
look
do
good.
it well.
I think
No,
he's just
no.
nuts.
But no, but there's nuts. There's some cross dressers that at least try to look good, right? They cross dress it.
Blake knows from such folks. Yes.
I've seen enough
It's
TV
Elegant
shows
Elliot.
that I know they look good.
Often or something, right?
No,
All
I
right.
didn't mean look good.
Cut
like that.
his
They
mic now.
They make themselves try to look good, and
Right.
here they have, like if you saw Caitlyn Jenner go out, they wouldn't try to be all over the place.
Okay, all right.
This guy
yeah.
pictures makeup was all over the place. He couldn't even cross dress right. I feel bad. I don't know what he could do right. Anyway, before we run out of time, there's a pretty important thing I wanted to talk about. Today is actually the 3rd anniversary for the Sandy Hook shooting.
Oh.
And actually today was a very big day because, we just had the shooting from the 2 terrorists in California last week, and today's the
Wait a
today's
second.
the
I'm looking at Elliot.
anniversary.
I'm looking at Elliot often on YouTube now. It's quite disturbing.
Yes, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
There's nothing feminine about this. He's just
Exactly. That's
an
what I'm
insane-
trying to say. He's not like a feminine
No, he's
crossdresser.
an
Just
he's
like
an insane-looking man.
He is, and that's. Can you just now try to picture what went on that morning that me and David witnessed him running into the shul, acting like a nut?
But my question is, what is he doing in shul? Is he like a Jew that is a member of the shul, or did he just?
I
roll
don't
into
know.
a
He
building?
walked in, he picked up a prayer book, and he was praying and yelling and acting nuts.
Oh, but he actually prayed.
And it was funny because it was funny because somebody was they were in the middle of a service, and there was someone leading the service, and they were praying, and he picks up his his English translation, and he's yelling out loud the prayers in English to try and what's the word, to overpower the actual service that was going on. And
Right.
it was just hilarious. David has a good video of it. We'll have to get it.
Yeah,
for you.
I don't even want to watch anymore. This is really disturbing.
That's got to be the funniest
God.
thing in the world, though.
Well, not in the world. I don't know. Blake sits in a cubicle at B&H. That might be pretty funny, right? So,
Sorry to have interrupted that. Go ahead. You were
Yeah.
saying?
what we were saying? Oh, Blake was in the middle of telling us about Sandy Hook. Yes.
Oh, yes. So there has been major debates this week in regards to, actually today specifically, in regards to the whole gun laws situation. That has been a big, major thing.
What is exactly the debate?
Well, the major debate and the major thing now, there are 2 sides to the gun laws, right? Obviously, stricter gun laws and looser gun laws. But within that debate, and there is people that actually hold there should be looser gun laws for the civilians, but I was watching the news. I forget the exact numbers. I think there were 90,000 people on the terror watch list. At least 90. Out of those 90,000 people, I think 70,000 people applied for gun licenses, and I think like 80% of those got approved. And it's crazy.
Well, that's because they're not restricted from getting a gun just because you're on that watch list.
Right.
That was
So the whole
controversy.
debate was, who cares? You could be on both sides. You could be on stricter gun laws or on looser gun laws. At the end of the day, if a guy's on a terror watch list or a no-fly list, they should not be allowed to get a gun. Period. It's not even like, why are we letting these guys? And I'm very into loose gun laws. I think everyone should have a gun.
Blake is a real liberal.
I'm not a real liberal. I'm more like a realist. It depends on the situation. I don't believe it, whatever. But when it comes to the gun laws, it's very everyone should own a gun. I think everyone should carry a gun for safety reasons. And here,
especially criminals.
no,
Criminals should have guns too,
well,
because
you know why?
they need to be able to defend
and this is going to
themselves
be a
from
very
the police. or something.
controversial. This is going to be a very controversial comment, and I'm going to be proud saying it.
Of course.
Because criminals should have guns, because then they're going to pull the guns on someone, and that regular person that has a gun now, because everyone's armed with guns, will shoot the guy, and our prison thing will go down, because now he will be
Blake,
dead.
I was kidding. Criminals shouldn't have guns.
No, but I'm telling you why I think it's not a bad point for them too, because then they're dead, and then I save more money on taxes because they won't need. Actually, that's not true. I won't save, but at least the taxes won't have to go to paying for this guy to sit in a cell all day, and that comes out of my tax dollars. He'll be dead.
How far do you think your tax dollars go in the scheme of things?
Enough that when I got my tax refund check this week, I got 2 refund checks, by the way, because I'm kind of
because you did
backlogged.
double.
Yeah, well,
double,
no, I got
double dipping, 2
no,
accounts.
no. I did
2 socials.
I did.
What?
I got my state and the federal.
Oh,
You got that?
yeah.
So I got, and I was really, really happy. I mean, I got money back, even though it's
All
really
right, so
the
you're
government
you're
took my
sponsoring
money.
drinks. Okay, cool.
It's really the government took my money, and now they're just turning it back on a free loan,
Oh, okay.
which is side of this whole problem with this government. But we're not going to get into that whole
Oh
thing
my
with them
God.
taking my money.
Everything leads back to his conspiracy with the government.
It's not a conspiracy at all. I'm not saying the government's trying to kill us all.
He thinks
or
the
whatever.
government is watching him.
No, I don't. Although I was reading.
Does the government have a reason to watch you, Blake?
I am a pretty, good guy to watch. I'm very interesting. I'm going around. People
I don't
wanna-
mean like through your window when you're taking a shower. I'm talking about for your behavior or your
No, I don't know.
your radical thoughts or anything.
My radical thoughts. I mean, they don't like the fact that I think everyone should have a gun. But otherwise, no. I'm not a very radical person in those
No?
terms.
All right.
No.
You're not putting you don't have like a bomb factory while you're making your jerky.
No, I don't.
That's
You
a
see,
front.
I don't even have time. I'm so busy with the jerky. Even if I thought about making a bomb, it just wouldn't even have time. It wouldn't even fit into my schedule.
Most people wouldn't even have the time to think about if they had the time to make a bomb, would they make a bomb? You've had that thought.
No, I haven't. That's not what I just said. You unbelievable. You just put words into my mouth.
Oh, gosh.
But, nah, I wouldn't make a bomb. Just because I'm more scared of killing myself. Dude, if that bomb, you mix up those
And
wires.
that's your answer, John. The reason why the government doesn't have to watch him is because they know if Blake would start tampering around with chemicals and stuff, he'd be knocking himself out. So they don't have to worry.
Yeah,
about
we
what he's
don't.
up
We
to.
don't want to. We don't want to.
Because the only house he'd be blowing up is his parents' house.
Oh.
or the kitchen.
Okay, so the government has no reason to watch Blake. What about you, Avi? Does the government have a reason to watch you?
I don't think so. When I was a little younger, I thought that they were like. You ever saw that show? The movie. I'm sorry, The Recruit.
Good movie.
Yeah.
Good
So
movie.
I always thought that the government was watching me because oh yeah, this is our man.
They're gonna recruit me.
They're gonna recruit me. Yeah, they're like, oh,
Right.
look at Avi, he's got skills.
So you guys, I don't know if we ever talked about. I don't know if we ever talked about what's going on with this past week with Dean Skelos and Sheldon Silver. Did we talk about that at all?
No. I don't
No,
know.
we were off the air last week, so you'll be the first to
Talk about like a fall from stardom. I mean, these guys were between Sheldon Silver and Dean Skelos and Andrew Cuomo basically controlled all of Albany and all the legislation. Everything comes out of New York, and two of the three are now done. Both of them found guilty.
What were
of
they
all
found
these-
guilty of?
all these charges. Oh my God, it's a disaster. Well, Sheldon Silver for lining his pockets with referral money from people that he was sending to the law firm for asbestos cases, and Skelos for strong-arming people to hire his son and give him jobs and nonsense. All,
His son
like,
must be
crazy,
very
crazy
stupid
stuff.
and untalented if he had a strong
Oh
arm
my
people
God.
to
So
give him a
bad.
job.
Like, it's amazing when you think about it. You can have a 30-year job, a 30-year career, whether it's a politician, a business person, or whatever, and you just do one dumb thing and you end up getting caught. It takes all the good things that you did in 30 years worth of a career, flushes it right down the toilet, and you go down in disgrace. It's such a terrible thing.
So what was it? Are they going? They're going to do time, or what is it?
Yeah, well,
fine?
they were both found guilty, and now they're going to be sentenced. Yeah, I mean, I think each of them are looking at like 50, 100 years or something. If they
No way, that
based on the
much?
chart. Yeah, something insane.
What did they do exactly?
I just told you.
That doesn't
Were
sound
you
like.
playing with your phone when I was talking
No,
to
I
you?
listen. I'm like, that doesn't sound like it's worth 50 years in prison.
It's using their political position for their own personal
I
gain.
think that's the major part, is that they're using their
Ah.
power to.
It's corruption. It's corruption. You can't do that.
I mean, truthfully, John, between me and you, and I mean, I love our, our elected officials. I'm close with some of them. Everybody on some level does something like that, right? Like,
No, but there's legal and there's illegal. I mean, there's places you can operate in gray, and then there's
I mean, like,
blatant
let's face
black
the
and
facts.
white.
Let's face the facts. Like, again, I'm just totally playing devil's advocate here. But like, let's take a fact. The guy like Sheldon Silver is obviously a very bright man to get to the position that he's been holding for so many years, to be able to maintain that position, to be able to balance that position. He's obviously a bright man. He's obviously a good politician. He obviously knows how to do things, right?
And the power went to his head, and he got carried away.
No, but listen, but so that and he happens to be, and there's nothing in the law that says that there's anything wrong with him being affiliated with a law firm as a lawyer, right?
No, you're allowed to have outside
outside work. So chances are that a bright man like him, with his level of popularity, means, I would assume, that he probably works for a pretty good firm, right? Which means that other partners or lawyers, or whatever other people within the company, are probably also, higher level talent.
Listen, you could say whatever you want. The jury heard the case. He was convicted.
I understand. I want to hear your thought on it, because, like, if somebody, let's say somebody, you said that he was getting referrals for asbestos cases. So I've worked in real estate before. I've done a little work. I've managed properties.
It's not black and white. It's not that he was collecting the referral fees. He never actually did any legal work. There was no legal work that was done. It was like a sham. He was just collecting the money, and he was doing favors for them in return. It was. Yeah, read up on it online, then you'll understand the case. Because yes, in just looking at very topically and saying, well, you're allowed to have outside work, so he was collecting referral fees for sending people to the law firm. Yes, that sounds fine, but that's not what it was.
I see. Okay, you're right. I shouldn't talk before I read the article, so I'm going to take a look at it because I'm actually curious. And
until you read the whole story and on both of them. Then you could make a little bit of a better judgment, because it's sort of an involved kind of thing.
Right. Okay. No. So fair enough. I will, if it's interesting enough, we'll pick up the conversation next week, I guess.
Absolutely.
But I just throwing it out there. I mean, when you're in a position of power, it means two things. Number one, yes, you have the ability to influence people in a certain way, and certainly as a politician, I know. Like I went last week. One of the local congresspersons made like a little holiday Hanukkah get together or whatever. And
would you deliver him a free turkey?
No, I was invited as a guest, so they served me on this one.
Okay.
Why did they serve me? I'm not charity. Okay, that's not how it works, John. The way it works is that she is appreciative of the people in the community who helped her get elected, the people who help her by bringing issues to her table, letting her know what people in the community are worried about. Or
who is it?
I'm not gonna say that. One of the local.
Oh my God! You can't even. It's a public figure. You can't name the politician.
What difference does it make?
I'm just curious. Why is that a secret? It's a politician.
Okay, because I want to make a general statement that might not be so nice.
Okay.
So maybe I'll say the name after. In any case. Like I said, a respected person who does a lot of good work. The fact is, when you're in a position like that, when you're in a position where you have power, number one, people are always coming to you for assistance. So so here's a great example. I went to this breakfast, and I bumped into a gentleman there who I haven't seen in a number of years, and I was like, oh wow, hey, like long time, how you doing? And he says, "Oh, great." He's like, "I'm doing all right." I said, "Oh, I'm just curious. Like, what brings you here to this breakfast? Not like in a like we're too good for you kind of way, but like I just didn't expect to see him there. It was a specific. It was a specific type.
I didn't expect to see this particular convicted felon at this breakfast.
No. So no, I think what he does is now he manages a school building. I think that's what he does. He's like the director of something at a school, right?
All right.
So he handles the operations and construction or whatever it was. And he told me that the reason why he came to the event is because, I guess a few months ago, they were doing some work, and I guess the contractor didn't get all the approved permits or whatever it was. The Department of Buildings came down and kind of, put a stop order on the work, was going to fine them, and they basically got taken a ride. They got taken for a ride by their contractor, who told them that he took care of everything. They don't know the difference. They just know, like, oh, we need work done. This guy said he got the paperwork. We believe him. We trust him. But ultimately, he's the one who's going to take responsibility for it, right? The fact that they're not doing the construction now, whatever his job is, means he did not see it through. So he panicked. And what did he do? He made some phone calls, and he got in touch with the local congresswoman's office, and asked if she could be helpful. And apparently she was able to put him in touch with somebody in the Department of Buildings who was able to kind of guide him and say, listen, this is what you're doing wrong. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to tell your contractor. And for that, he was appreciative of the assistance that she provided. He told me that they were still kind of stuck in a pickle. They still didn't get everything taken care of. There was still paperwork and monies that needed to be addressed. But he came. She invited him to the party because he was a constituent who operates a large school who was going through some trouble, and she was able to use, her figure, her position,
her influence
to help. To point him in the right direction where he can get assistance. So, if you look at a situation like that, you can always, and I say this a lot from Shakespeare. Like the one thing I remember from high school because I thought it was so clever is even the devil can cite scripture for his own use, which means that if you want to spin a story a certain way, you can. You can, like devil's advocate. You can always look at it one way. We can look at it and say, wow, this congresswoman went out of her way to take a few minutes to go and help out this guy who, potentially could lose his job because he made a mistake. Or you could look at it and say, oh, what kind of monies did this guy bring to her campaign when she was running for election? Oh, wow, he gave money to her campaign. Oh, maybe that means that she's helping him because of some ulterior motive. Oh, why? Why would a congresswoman go above and beyond? Why wouldn't she have her assistant take care of that? And you might look at it and say, oh, let's see. Maybe this congressperson is doing something wrong. And that's just a small, stupid example. But, like I said, I believe any type of situation, especially when you're dealing with someone who's in a power of authority, someone who holds a position of power, I think any type of situation where they're extending themselves to help others can be looked at and viewed at as some kind of conspiracy. And if you want to
I think there's a fine line between helping constituents and conspiracies and bribes and things like that. So in other words, let's say the example that you just cited, and then it turns out that this congresswoman's son, after helping out this contractor, was then hired at the school for a shell position for $100,000 a year that they didn't actually even show up to work every day, just collecting a salary. So that's sort of more like what was happening.
Well, that's
with
clear
Dean
cut.
Skelos.
You're right. Okay, fine. So that's a clear cut situation, and I'm not saying
but
that
Dean Skelos strong-armed a company into hiring his son for a couple of $100,000 a year. The son actually didn't do anything. He didn't actually, I don't even think, had a job there. It was just collecting the salary. And then Dean Skelos helped this company get contracts with Nassau County, right? And then was coming down on Nassau County for not paying the bills fast enough to the company that he got the contracts for, that he forced to hire his son for a shell job that he was never actually showing up for.
Right.
See how that's a little bit different?
Yeah, that's a little bit more clear cut. No, but I'm just saying,
Right.
I think in general what the lesson is that anybody who's in a position of power on whatever level that is, whether as a politician in the public eye, or within a company as a manager or a CEO or whatever it is, you always have to be careful how things are going to be viewed as, because at the end of the day,
well, because you're under additional scrutiny.
Right. So you have
power.
to almost go above and beyond to.
And not only that, not only you're under the scrutiny all the time, but especially as a politician, you're always going to have people that would love to see you disgraced and out of your position so that they can have their own person in there. So
Right.
they're actually looking to try to hang you for things.
Absolutely.
So I think if I was a politician, which clearly I'm not,
No.
I would view almost everything that I did, and I would say, wait, before I do this, if this was viewed by somebody else on the outside, how would this be viewed? And if there would be any sort of improprieties that people could perceive from that, I think I would probably not do it.
Right. So my message to you, John, is, and the thought that I would like to, I guess, end this statement with is, it doesn't matter if you hold a position of power or as a politician. We all, on some level, hold a position where we have a power of influence over others, and we should always be thinking like that. We should always: is this something that can in any way be taken the wrong way or viewed the wrong way, or can this be addressed?
I'll give you a
better?
prime example of that on the most basic level.
Okay.
Just being a parent.
Okay.
because everything you do is scrutinized by your kids.
Right.
And they copy you, they imitate you, they learn from you, they watch everything that you do, and it influences how they grow up and how they ultimately conduct their own lives. So let's say, for example, I'm going to go out and do something stupid, and I get caught or whatever. I always try to think to myself, well, how would I explain that to my kids if they found out about it?
Wow. Okay.
Now, I don't always listen, and sometimes I do it anyway, but I'm just saying, because that's human nature. Because that's human nature. But those thoughts do go through my mind.
Give us an example of something you did recently under those terms.
Off the air or on the air?
Well, I'll even let you decide how you want.
Okay, I'll give you another very basic example. A perfect example of what you're saying is just texting and driving. Right?
Okay.
So 99.9% of the time, you're going to get away with it. And there's going to be one time where you either get a ticket or you have an accident and you hurt someone or you get hurt or you hurt whatever. And then you're going to come home and the kids are going to say what happened, tell them what happened, and then they're going to say, but I told you 100 times not to text and drive. And I went ahead and did it anyway, and this was the end result of it, whatever that end result was. I'm not saying me, God forbid, I'm just saying.
No, of course you don't, right?
No, I mean, I do, but I shouldn't. And my daughter tells me all the time, don't text and drive. Even when I'm texting her, she's like, are you driving? Yes. And I say yes. She'll say, well, don't text me while you drive.
Right.
So, like, how many times does a person have to hear that before they listen, or they just have the accident and then go, oh, my God, why did I do that? So stupid. So sometimes if you think about these things before you do them, it actually prevents you from doing them.
Wow. Words of inspiration from John tonight. We are definitely starting this new year off on the right foot. I love it.
I am not holding myself up as an example of that because I'm guilty of doing a lot of the things that I said I shouldn't be doing.
No, because you're in such
I'm
a
just giving you an
high
example.
position, you have the power of influence, and you yourself don't have to listen to it. It's a great thing. Oh, gosh. In any case, so John, next week, just remember, tune in. We're here Monday evenings, 8 to 9 p.m., www.surrealradio.com, SYREAL.
Can I tune in or can I be on?
You can do both. Obviously, you are.
Thank you. Excellent.
You're a co-host over here. In fact, don't come to the studio next week because I believe they're coming with like a whole entourage. So the less people.
Did Blake get more mics?
He's going to need to do that between now and then.
Black Friday maybe wouldn't have been a good time to do that.
He doesn't need to. He gets the employee discount at B&H.
Yeah, but I was gonna get the mics, and then I'm like, wait, it's only me and Avi ever in the office.
Yeah, because John never comes.
No, but when you have guests come in, let's say it's just
of course
you,
John,
it's you,
John,
Blake, Mike, and someone else. I mean, it's like sharing microphones all the time.
Of course, no, 100%. We will have enough mics for everybody who comes in next week. In any case, make sure to tune in next week, of course, for an interesting program, as well as the following Monday. Again, Monday evenings, 8 to 9 p.m., surrealradio.com.
I have one more question.
Gosh,
let's say, hypothetically, I was a listener, and I wanted to listen to the show again because it was so wonderful. Where would I go about doing that?
So you're jumping the gun because we're hosting our podcast on a website which is now no longer working out. So we have a new website which is being created literally as we speak.
Is Blake blowing his nose?
Yes.
Every time you said a word, I heard a nose blow. That was so distracting.
Yeah. In any case, we have a new website being made right now just to be able to hold all of our podcasts. So stick with us by hopefully before January 1st, hopefully within the next week or two, all of our podcasts since July, because I believe if you go to the website up until July, we're up to date, but everything, hopefully from July to date, as well as prior to that, will be on this new website. So I will.
Can we on this website? Can
John,
we go back to day one that we recorded shows and have the entire history?
Yes, John. Yes.
Oh, that would be awesome.
It's very easy for you to give other people work to do. Yes, people are working on it, so just sit tight. And
no, I wasn't. Designating that work to someone. I was just asking if that's going to be a possibility.
Yeah, it is a possibility, and it's being worked on. So stick with us. We will have, hopefully,
that is awesome.
We'll have the website name for you next week, and you can share it and listen to all the unreleased archived shows for the
So when
last
were you going to bring that
5
up
months.
if I didn't ask?
I was going to bring it up next week because I didn't want to say anything before it was ready.
Okay.
So
this way, any listener that wants to hear any of our previous shows is going to have a place to be able to do that.
Yes, hopefully by 1 week from today, I will have the website, and hopefully in 1 week from today, everything will be up there. If not, it'll take another week after that, which is fine too. In any case, it will be available.
And can I just add one other thing?
Another one. This we're going to charge you for.
No, I think it would be a great idea if they can also be available, let's say, on YouTube. And let's say we have just still images of ourselves, but people could select from the shows and
John,
just
we could talk about this, when you come by the office. We don't need to do this on the air. In any case, thanks for your suggestions. That is also being done. Don't worry.
Well, yeah, I'm just asking. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes there. All these things go on behind my back all the time.
I know, John. You don't know because you don't want.
You showed up every once
you
in
don't
a while.
make no. You don't make the effort to know. You come in. Hey guys, I got a great idea. Great. We've been working on that for 2 months now. Thank you, sir. So we appreciate it, and don't worry, John. We will definitely.
You're lucky this is a family show, Avi.
I know.
I'm holding myself back. You're lucky it's a family show.
Listen, you can. I know it's difficult for you to make the trek out, but. If you want to mail me my Hanukkah gift, I'll give you my address off the air. You could send it over. I know you got me something nice. So, yeah.
I got you 2 packages of beef jerky.
In any case, it's our time to go. With any questions, comments, suggestions, send us an email, info@thejavidgroup.com or fabtasticmedia@gmail.com, or just shoot a text because we all know that's easier, to 347-684-1155. Thanks so much for tuning in, Blake. Thanks for coming and I guess keeping me company here because
taking shots at me right to the end.
And John, thank you for all that you do. Of course.
Hold your tongue. It's a family show.
I know. That's why I'm getting the cut sign. Cut.
Goodbye.
Have a good night, guys.
Okay, bye.